Okay, so here we go. So we're here today to discuss the new way that H5P, a tool we've been we have been using for a few months with, well, a few years actually, but really intensely for a few months with our edulink courses, and now with our Avenue course. Okay, so what we're going to be really focusing on here is what's sort of different and what's some of the problems or some of the issues and some of the improvements. Okay, so what happened was in the last month or so in August, we upgraded to Avenue, the new service, the new big service, and the learning management system in the classroom that supports that is called Moodle 3.9, which is the latest version of Moodle. In that change, what happened was H5P stopped being an add-on to Moodle, and it became an integral part of Moodle. So it became a part of Moodle, okay? And we're really in the first stages of this, and you'll see why later. And what I want to talk to you about today is what instructors should know. Oops. So today we're going to talk about why are we changing, why are we moving forward, why don't we just use the old H5P and continue along. We're going to talk about migrating from edulink to Avenue in terms of H5Ps, how you convert H5Ps to the new version from the old version. Avenue and H5P, I've got about 6 or 7 essential issues that you should know about, the relationship between Avenue and the new H5P. Also, I have I'll go through a series of supporting resources that you can draw upon if you want to be a little more ambitious or just to get some assistance. There are some pre-posted Q&As, questions that I will address, about 6 or 7 of them. And then I will look at the chat window to see your questions from this session. Okay? Okay, so why are we changing? Why are we going from the H5P, the interactive content module that we were using before, it's got the black icon, to the new blue icon, the H5P? Why are we doing this? Okay, so we're doing it to keep current with technologies as they move forward. And the new, excuse me, there's people still entering the room. Okay, so what's happening is with the H5P, they're moving towards a sharing model. So sort of like, you know, the open education resources movement or the OER movement, which is really big and growing. But H5P is facilitating their own arm, and it's called the H5P OER Hub. Now, if you can imagine, this has a lot of momentum and a lot of energy going with it. So what's happening is there are developers all across the world building this OER, like really with a major focus, so that wherever you are, if you are building an OER textbook, which is a big thing in Ontario right now and BC, I'm not sure about the rest of Canada, but I've just seen examples from there. Oh, and Alberta and Nova Scotia. Anyway, if you're building an OER book, or if you're using a learning management system, imagine that you want something on, I don't know, raising koalas, and maybe you don't want to make your own, so you go out and you look for resources. And if you have something like this, what they envision the H5P OER Hub is, from within your course, you can search this giant database, locate something, and if the author has said that it's fair use, public use, then you can click on it and just drag, and it will appear inside of the content bank inside of your course, your Avenue course, your Moodle course. So the idea is to be able to, when you publish something, share it out, and if you want something, you can bring it into your course. Okay? So what we're thinking about here is, well, why we're moving is, in the next iteration or so of Avenue or Moodle, what will happen is the sharing features of the new H5P will become even more streamlined. so you can share faster and more efficiently. Also, there are technical improvements with the new H5P. The last attempt no longer overwrites the gradebook score. I'm not sure if any of you have run across that problem, but that could be an issue. You can now set the grading method to highest, average, last, those. You can set the number of attempts for the students taking taking an H5P on your course. You can actually go back and you can see all of the learners' attempts like in other learning objects. So you can see what they've actually entered. Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? How many times they've done the activity? And it's good to have those analytics if you're trying to find out if an activity is fair or not, or if a question is tripping up the students in an unusual way because it's worded improperly or something like that. And then at the end of a course, if you want to reset your course with the new H5P, you can remove all of the previous attempts so they don't stay like in the last interactive content H5P. So there are some technical improvements we have. So when we're talking about moving from edulink to Avenue, edulink had the interactive content H5P, the one we saw earlier with the little black icon with H5P in it. Okay, this migration happened moving in August. We moved your courses, if you asked, from edulink to Avenue. Now, some of them possibly, some of the H5Ps were converted, but not all, or not a majority, I don't believe. So there is a way you can go into your course and convert the interactive content H5Ps to the new H5P in Avenue. There is a help sheet on the Learn IT to Teach portal in support under more help. I'll talk about that later on when I talk about support, as I said earlier. So it's not a difficult process, but it is like you have to you go in, you edit it, you go into edit mode, you copy it, okay, well, I'll show you later on, okay? But it's a three-step process, taking it and converting it, and then you don't have to redo the all of the minutiae of the learning object. You can just copy and paste it essentially. Okay, so when we're talking about converting H5Ps from the edulink interactive content, basically you go in and see the change icon. I couldn't find a better change icon than somebody changing a baby. You would go into the interactive content H5P, click on copy, go to the content bank, create a new one, paste the content from the interactive content H5P, and then save it in Avenue. So you've just taken a copy of the old one, gone into the content bank, which is something we're going to talk about in a second, and then paste the content in a new H5P shell, and you have a new one. It's converted. This is the pathway at the bottom, how to get to that support document. In the Learn IT to Teach portal, click on support, Avenue support, Avenue more help, and the document's called H5P converting interactive content to H5P. Okay, so the issues or the things that instructors should be aware of in relation to Avenue and the new H5P. The first one is called the content bank. The content bank really is everything because it's kind of like it's where all of the new H5Ps are stored. And the idea about storing them all centrally in one place in the course is so that now and in the future, especially in the future, you can access them and do some really cool things with them without having to search for them. They're all in one place. They are all in one place. Okay? So this new H5P repository, the content bank is an H5P repository, and it will have different kinds of learning objects in the future, but at the moment it's just H5P. So when you go in there, you'll see all of your H5Ps that are in your course that you included. So the first thing you have to do is you have to intentionally go to the content bank To get to the content bank on your Avenue courses, you have to go to the messaging drawer and click on Content Bank. Once you're inside the Content Bank, you can see the H5Ps listed down there. And to make a new one, you would click on Add. And then that would take you into the editing mode. Okay, if you use Upload, using Upload will allow you to take an H5P learning object from somebody else, or some that you found, maybe something that you found or located on Tutela, and you can put it in that way. But clicking on Add allows you to make the learning object in the content bank. Before, you just made it on the topic screen, the main screen of your course. But now you have to go into the content bank and click on Add. Okay, so to create an H5P, first, you go into the content bank by going through the navigation drawer. Then you select Add. Oops. Sorry. I guess my slides are out of order. Sorry. So you go into the content bank, you click on Add. Don't look at this slide, I'm sorry, it's out of order. Then what you do is you go in like before and you select your H5P tool, say for example, course presenter or column or true false. And you save it in the content bank. And then you have to go back to your course, select Add a resource or activity, and then you just point to the content bank inside of from your course. You point to the actual H5P in the content bank, and then it will appear on your course main menu. Okay, so it's like an extra step. Okay, when the students click on it, it appears just like a regular H5P. Okay, so to review, open the content bank and select Add. You create the H5P inside the content bank. Then you go back to the course and link the H5P to the course from the content bank. Okay, so it is an additional step. Okay, so the big win for us with using this process right now, beyond having the additional features that were mentioned a little earlier, for example, the grading and for tracking what the students have done. What you have here is you have faster or efficient access to all of your H5Ps. Okay, so one of the really nice ones is if you want an H5P, but it's already made in the course bank, or the content bank, sorry, you can actually open up a label. You know, the label, most people use the labels just for putting a little line or putting a cute sort of logo, a GIF logo or an image logo. But in a label now, because of the new Moodle text editor, you can just point to an H5P and it will appear as a label. So the H5P will appear right on your main menu on the screen if you wish. You can make a file in Moodle and just pop in an H5P or two in that file as well. So it gives you more flexibility. Okay, so number 2 is just link onto this. Getting into the content bank is just by going into the navigation drawer, and it's just one of the items listed in the navigation drawer. Okay, so item number 2 is the Atto Editor, which really means the Moodle text editor. If you look at the image here on the bottom right-hand corner of the Atto Editor, you'll see the H5P icon. Now, if you want, you can just open a new label. All sorts of tools now in Moodle. You can open them up and you'll see this H5P. Especially what's interesting is you can put an H5P in the description section that most of us ignore when we're making Moodle activities, or some of us ignore. And what you can do is you can have a check. Like, do you understand quantum physics? Yes or no. And you can have that at the top before they go into the actual activity in the descriptor. So that there's just other things you can do with this. But when you click on this, it actually just opens up, asks you which of the content bank H5P objects you want. If you click on it, it will appear in the label, save, and you're ready to go. So it's a really nice thing. If you try this on Microsoft browsers, it's a bit problematic. But that's just me. Maybe not. Maybe I'm biased. Okay, so that's quick access through the H5P button on the text editor. The third issue is attempt options. So when your learners are finished activities and you want to know, especially if we're teaching online, how they really did, you now with H5P, with the new version, you have a tracking ability. So you can now know the number of attempts, their individual responses to different parts of the H5P, and it will report back grades in different ways rather than before. So you can set this up in Moodle with H5P. Okay, so it gives you more flexibility. Okay, so where it says attempt options underneath the H5P, you'll just say yes to enable attempt tracking. Okay, I'll continue along with attempt options section, the attempt options section. The grading method, as I think I already mentioned this, you can set the grading to highest grade, average grade, last attempt, first attempt, or don't calculate a grade. That was not available with the H5P interactive content module. Issue number 5. How do you remove an H5P from the content bank? Okay, this is the thing, because if you start experimenting with H5Ps, some people get a little carried away. Myself, I'm guilty. But what happens is your content bank for your course actually starts getting quite crowded. Okay, so sometimes what you need to do is just do a little spring cleaning, but quite often. So when you're in the content bank, what you can do is just select one of the H5Ps, and then of course there's the actions menu usually up on the top right hand corner. If you click on it, it will give you the option to delete. Okay, so you can, it's a quick way to clean up the content bank. Next issue is sharing an H5P from the content bank. Now, the future looks bright for the content bank and sharing, but right now, because we're in the very first iteration of the full integration of H5P into Moodle, it's not as seamless and utopian as it could be, and it will be. At this point, what we advise is you go into the content bank and you click on edit. Oh, sorry, you're in the content bank, you select an H5P, and then you click on edit. So it's just sitting there. Inside of the H5P, if you can see at the bottom of the screen there, I hope you can, click on copy. It will copy all of the contents of the H5P. So if it's a column or a course presentation, it will copy tons and tons and tons, lots and lots of information. All the fields will be registered. And then you go into a new H5P and paste. And that's how you can share. All of that information will go into the new H5P, and you can rename it and make alterations and make a new, make it, improve it if you wish. Okay, by clicking on paste and replace on the new one. Issue number 7, in the new courses in Avenue, the PBLA modules, all the H5Ps have been updated to the new H5P. Oh, sorry. There's one more thing. Let me think about this. If you bring, so this is not on the slide, I'm sorry, number 8. If you bring the, if your course was brought over and you still have the interactive content, H5Ps from edulink, they still work. inside of Avenue, but they don't have the enhancements like the tracking and the extra grades and the extra attempts and all of that stuff. Okay, so they will function as they did in edulink. Okay. And there's one more, number 9. Number 9 is you can do a little hack here. You can, but we don't recommend it. You can circumvent the content bank. Okay, you can do this by just going to your Avenue, going into add an activity or resource, that link, locate the H5P, the new H5P icon. You click on it, and then you upload an H5P file from somewhere else that you've made. You don't author in it, but you upload it. Okay? It will function inside of your course as you wish. So if you want to bring something else in, but the only thing is, it will not be in the content bank. So you will not be able to use the Atto Editor to quickly access it in the future. Okay, so you can. People have asked that one. Okay. Okay, yeah, I missed a couple slides there. Sorry, they were just dangling in my head. So for support, H5P support for Avenue H5P support. If you are in stages 3 or 4, there are plenty of resources, and they've all been updated. In fact, stage 3 was just updated yesterday. Updated again. In the Avenue Teacher Only forum, if you post your questions there, hopefully somebody will get there to help you. It's been a really busy September, so if you post your H5P questions there, I'll try my best to get to them. But yes, I will. Moving forward, it's getting the workload's getting lighter, and I'm sure that anybody with any experience will help you. And then you can go to h5p.org. Okay, so locally, our support on our portal, the Learn IT to Teach portal, if you go there on the front page, on the menu, if you click on support, Avenue support, and then if you go to Avenue stage 3 support, you will get all of these support files. Okay? So there's a lot of things there that will help you out. If you go to Avenue More Help, Avenue More Help will show you the, sorry, I'll go back there. If you go support, Avenue support, Avenue More Help, that's where you can find the converting interactive content to H5P help sheet. Okay, we also have a series of the Learn IT to Teach YouTube channel. There are a series of YouTube videos, and there are more and more as we go on. And there will be, I think on Monday, a video dedicated strictly for people using the new H5P with Avenue. That will be a how-to video on Monday on our YouTube videos channel. But there are all sorts of videos there related to H5P and our project. And then if you really, really want to dig deep, you can go to h5p.org. Now, h5p.org is general H5P. H5P sort of has 4 different flavors. So these will just be the generic, how you make a really good, solid, interactive video kind of thing. It talks about the actual discrete items. Okay, they've got nice examples there for you to look at as well. Okay, so these are the questions that were on the sheet, the spreadsheet that folks sent in when they registered. Question 1, how can we import H5Ps from one Avenue course to another? H5Ps from one Avenue course to another. Let's go back to issue 6. I hope I didn't mess this up. No, this is, okay, issue 6 is sharing from within. Issues, yes. Issue 6 here. Sorry, that's a mistake, or my mistake. Okay, don't look at that. That's sharing within a course. And the question was, how can we import from one Avenue course to another? So essentially what you have to do here is, please ignore this. Please ignore issue number 6. If you look at the Talk to Your Landlord H5P in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that the person who made this toggled on share so other people can use it. And what happens is when it's published and you're using this, and you say, geez, I would really like to keep this. I'd like to have this. You can click on the reuse button on the bottom left-hand corner of the H5P. And that will download onto your device or your laptop in a file name with the extension .h5p. Now you can take that file and upload it into your course using the Content Bank, actually. Or yeah, we would recommend you open the Content Bank, start a new H5P, and then upload that file in, and all the content will be there, and it will be your H5P. Okay, you might want to acknowledge the original author if it's appropriate. Oh, you should. Okay. Can you use H5P and Zoom? No, I don't believe right now, maybe, but yesterday I found something out on Twitter about Zoom that was new, that students could make choices on which breakout rooms they went to. Maybe I just saw that on Twitter yesterday, so I don't know everything about Zoom. I just use it once in a while. So can you use H5P and Zoom? I would say the only way you can do it is if you are displaying it on a shared screen. Okay, I don't think the students can go into Zoom and actually use H5P. The next question is, I'm a new user, what should I know about H5P? Okay, H5P has over 30 tools that are relevant to education. It reports student scores to the gradebook, which is amazing. You can set it up so it has instant feedback so the students can self-study. It's very media friendly. You can have videos, audio, animation, all sorts of, and interactivity in all of the H5Ps, or many of the H5Ps. And we have lots of support resources on the portal through our system that will help you out with it. Okay, there's much more. We discussed it in May, June, and July through webinars, but also through teacher exchanges and workshops. So if you're new to it, I hope this is helping you out, but you might have to go back and look at some videos on our YouTube channel. Thank you. Question 4. I tagged an activity, but it did not transfer to the ePortfolio. Why? Okay, why? The assignment item transferred smoothly. Why not the H5P? Okay, I did not have the ability to answer this question because I was trying to do it with a mock student, and I can't give a definitive answer on this. So what I will do is, I promise I will follow up with some members of the team, and hopefully we can give you a response on the teacher-only forum as soon as possible. Thanks. Question 5. I had an H5P assessment column activity, the one that goes top to bottom vertically, imported from edulink. When the students finished working on it, they hit check. However, the activity did not record everyone's score. The students sent me their screenshots, so I know they completed it. What went wrong? Okay, so you know that the students did it. They have the evidence. It's an H5P imported from the interactive content. So I would really desperately need to see the actual H5P. I want to know if it was converted. Let's see, was it converted? No, it was imported. So I'm not sure if it was converted to the new H5P or it's still in the interactive content mode. So what I can say is, I did a few tests yesterday, and if you make a column in the new H5P, this will not happen. Okay, the scores will report, all the discrete scores will report. Okay, So if you want to get back to me, or actually I'm going to reach out to you because I think I have the email associated with this question, and get more feedback, and then I'll post the answer on the teacher only forum. Thank you. Question number 6, I'd like to know if the problem with summary was fixed in the new version. Okay, so the summary slide in the course presenter displays horizontally. So you start here and the students move forward answering questions, reading, listening, or whatever. And at the end, they get to a summary slide. And the summary slide is sort of like a general, did you understand the whole concept here? Okay, so in the old version, if you click on the summary slide, all of the previous activity scores went to 0. So I can tell you with few trials using the new H5P, as you can see down here, it reports to the gradebook properly, and it does report scores on the individual basis. So fingers crossed, I'm sure that it works now. Okay, so those are the questions we've had. And what I will do now is I'll look at the chat window to see if you have, holy cow, it went quick. Okay. Here's some questions, and I might show a demonstration if I can. Let's see. It's rainy in Vancouver. How can we easily import H5P from another course to our own course? So you would have to have access to that course. And then I would suggest clicking on the reuse button, putting those H5Ps in a folder, and then bringing them up to your course. Or you can go to that course and do a backup and restore, as in regular Moodle. You could go to the course, click on backup, the actions icon, backup, and then select all the H5Ps you want, back it up, and then you know where they are, and then you can restore them into your course that way. So backup and restore would be faster. And using the reuse button on every individual H5P is a bit slower. There are 2 ways. Okay, so I have a question here. We can change font and text size for choices in course presentations, but can't seem to change font size in the individual H5Ps. Okay, so here's the thing. H5P is an open source concept. It was started by a team in Norway, and they're sort of like, they've made it open source so the world can help them develop this product. And because of that, it's generally free or relatively cheap. Okay, so what happens is a team of people around the world that never see each other possibly, they contribute to make something like the true false question. And then they stop. And then they go on and they make a multiple choice question. And another team from other countries, they make, I don't know, the presentation the course presentation module. So what you have is developers not in a company, so they're not following strict guidelines. So some of them have features that you think would be great elsewhere, but they don't appear there because the development actually stopped. Because generally these folks are not being paid. So what they do is they go forward. And in open source development, what happens is they ask for donations or contributions from companies so that they can make one of the features stronger, like you say, adding different features to it to allow you to have different font sizes and font shape, font faces. But yeah, it's kind of like very uneven in terms of the features of all of the early H5P learning objects. So yeah, I agree. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. So it's not you, it's the way it is. You know, I think as H5P grows, they'll probably revisit those and maybe try to make things more uniform. Reza, yes, Tutela. I am a real big fond of Tutela's collections of H5P collection. I recommend everybody go there. We did some work on that in around May and June. Yeah, I highly recommend it. And there is a worksheet on our Learn IT to Teach portal telling you how to go to Tutela and find suitable H5P learning objects and bringing them down. Then you can bring them up and put them in your content bank. Does this work if the H5Ps are in another section other than your courseware in Avenue? Does this work if the H5Ps are in another section other than your courseware? I'm not sure what section means there, Marissa. Another section, like another class?
Yeah, what I mean, it's at the beginning in the dashboard, you know, where we share from other teachers.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you've already covered that.
Okay,
So
sorry.
I'm trying to get it to work here, but I guess the best thing, like you say, is to let's see, back up and then restore. That would be the fastest.
That's one way, yeah.
I tried that last week, John, and it took forever to download. I don't know why, and it was only one that I was doing.
Okay.
I don't know. Does it normally take a really long time to do one?
No, but sometimes if there's anything going on, I don't know. I would love to look at this issue, so I'm going to mark it, and I'll follow up with you, and I'll post the result in the teacher only forum.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I would like to show a demonstration if possible. We still have time, so I will do that at the end of these questions. Okay. Thank you for asking that for that, Reza. Okay. All right. So Nazanin, I'm going to show that demonstration that will cover your question about how to get to the content bank. Yes. Is there a way to upgrade a migrated H5P to get the new tracking features? Yes. That is, if you go to that conversion document and you convert your H5P, you will have the new features, the tracking features. Gordana, to find out about upcoming webinars, if you go to the Teachers Only forum in the right-hand column, you'll see under the first section, you'll see the listing of the upcoming webinars. Okay, folks, thank you for your questions. What I'm going to try to do right now is I'm going to try to share a demonstration of making a, can you just do it from here? I'll see if I can share this to you, okay? I hope this works. I'm going to try this right now to see. I would like to a thumbs up if you can see a blank preview window, if you could. Okay, can anybody see a blank preview window? Okay. Can somebody, Marissa, can you see a blank preview window on your screen?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to run this for about 3 minutes. And what it does is it walks you through how to actually make an H5P learning object through the new content bank. Okay? On your Avenue course, scroll down the navigation drawer until you see the content bank link. Click on the content bank link. The content bank opens. Notice that there are already H5P learning objects in this course's content bank. Click on the Add button. H5P options appear in a drop-down list. In the drop-down, click on the multiple choice option. The H5P multiple choice editor appears. Type in a title for the H5P learning object, then type in a question. Type in the correct answer. Check in the correct box. Input a distractor. To add more distractors, click on the Add option button. Enter the next distractor. Click on the Save button. The H5P multiple choice question preview appears. Click on the Close button to leave the H5P preview. The content bank screen appears. Click on the course name in the breadcrumbs menu. At this point, click on the Turn Editing On button. In the appropriate topic, click on the Add an Activity or Resource link. The Add an Activity or Resource pop-up appears. Click on the H5P icon. Type in a name for the H5P that will appear on the course menu. Click on the Files icon. In the left column, at the bottom, click on the Content Bank link. The H5Ps of the Content Bank appear. Select the appropriate H5P learning object from the list. A pop-up appears that contains information about the H5P learning object. Adjust information as required. Normally, the author field should be changed to the source listed in Tutela or other sources. And then click on the Select this file button. Under the package file, click to expand the H5P options section. Choose any combination of Allow Download, Embed, and Copyright buttons as required. Make alterations to other Moodle settings as you would on any learning activity. Click on the Save and Return to Course button. On the course main menu, look for the H5P Learning Activity link. Click on the link. The H5P activity preview appears. Okay. Oops, I should stop that. Sorry, gotta stop that activity. Okay, be quiet. Thank you. Okay, so that was a quick intro to how to actually make an H5P in conjunction with the new Avenue and Content Bank. I know it seems like a lot at the moment, but the results and the new features will make it worth your while, especially when we get more sharing ability in the future. Okay, so that's at the moment. That is all I have for today. Are there any more questions? Marissa, thank you for saying that was easy to follow. Boy, it still makes my eyes spin a bit when I see that. That's a snippet from the video that will be coming out on Monday. Are there any more questions? Thank you very much. And you're welcome for your kind comments. And I'm looking forward to working with you to move the H5P and Avenue forward, because I love discovering new things when I get questions or people say, hey, yeah, you said this, but that's not really true. There's another way to do it. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll see you online soon. Thank you very much. Thanks, Evita. Thank you. Take care, everybody. I'm going to stop recording now.